The novel by John Steinbeck, that is The Pearl, KCSE Literature Paper 101, Stroke 3, 2022. Of course, the projections. We're good to work with projections based on the past experiences you had with the exam sittings. Now, this is exam style number 3. Good boys and girls, exam style number 3. Now, this does not mean that this is question number 3, but it's an exam style question number 3 based on the order of process from how we've started all the way from exam style question number 1 from the same novel, exam style number 2 from the same novel by John Steinbeck, and now exam style number 3. So let's go through these together and we see what the examiners are expecting of us, and of course sample responses and prototype responses, sample responses that the examiners are expecting of you. Welcome. So therefore, this is how an exam style question will look like, good students, that the examiners are expecting you to respond on. A prototype will sound like this. Write an essay to show the truth of the saying, what you see is not always what you get. Use illustrations from John Steinbeck's The Pearl. Again, write an essay to show the truth of the saying, what you see is not always what you get. That is our thesis, our statement from the examiners. Now that our essay is going to be based on really these particular theses, that what you see is not always what you get. Use illustrations from those, that is the illustrations or citations from the text that support, that is the evidence from the text that support this statement or the thesis up there, that what you see is not exactly what you get. So use illustrations from John Steinbeck's The Pearl, and this is the format. Literally, the introduction is awarded 2 marks. Now, the sum of the points which are supposed to be contained in the introduction is that expect a contextualized intro, which means that based on the context. Now, at times, looks can be deceiving. Now, that is a contextualized intro. You see, it's not exactly what the thesis is as part of the prompt up there, but it is something like an explanation too. So, but within the context. So our contextualized intro will look like this. At times, looks can be deceiving, or judging things, or people at face value is erroneous. Now, clearly shown in the Pearl that Kino finds. So you'll be supporting, you'll be adding flesh to those particular skeletal structure right there. He thinks, that is Kino, that it is good fortune but brings evil to his family. So therefore, what you see is not always what exactly you get. And in other words, you can also include that by judging a book by its cover is not the right approach. Okay, good. That was the introduction part of it. Now, about the body. The body has almost like 4 contents or items that you need to deliberate on and expound or explain. So the first point as part to our thesis, our prompt. The pearl has an outward appeal, the promise of riches, and of course comfort. However, it brings misery. It leads to death of Coyotito. Now here, on that particular hysteric, candidates must elaborate fully. You students, good boys and girls, add flesh on the same based on the evidence from the text. I didn't have to patch it here. There is no need. If you can elaborate and illustrate this one based on the text, that is like reciting evidences from the text and bring and patch them there, it serves the point. 2, the doctor is supposed to treat Coyotito of the scorpion sting. He instead comes to make him more ill. He wants part of the pearl's good fortune. He spies on where the pearl is buried and sends an intruder to steal it. Therefore, you do not get what you see, or all that glitters is not really gold, or judging a book by merely looking at its cover is not the right approach to situations. Point 3, that will make the body. And of course, point 2 right there, students, you'll be elaborating or citing evidences from the text, like the ones that I've struck right there, that doctor who spies on where the pearl is buried. And this is not what exactly we expect of a doctor. And of course, he wants part of the pearl's good fortune, which means that he's not of good intention to the family. Now, the pearl traders, they pretend that they want the best price for Kino. They have, however, conspired and agreed on the price. They even dismiss the pearl, that is a downplay, its worth, which means that they are, of course, not of good intentions, they are ill-intended, and by pretending that they want the best price for Kino, now which previously they had conspired and agreed on the price, they even dismiss the pearl itself, meaning that they are downplaying its worth by dismissing the pearl's value. So that is, of course, point 3. There are supposed to be 4 points, and to our next point, that is point number 4. Good. Now, point number 4. Hold on. Point number 4. The others. Now, who are the others? The priest. The priest wears an holy than thou attitude. Now, the priest pretends that he has come to bless and celebrate the finding of the pearl. Underneath, he's thinking of the repairs that the church need, and that is etc. We also have the beggars, and also we have the neighbors. Good students, you might be talking about the beggars, add some flesh onto it. So that is the skeletal part of it. So, and also the neighbors. Now, after successfully considering all those particular 4 points, any 4 points multiplied by 3, that is an equivalent of 12 marks. Now, a conclusion. Now, good students, you need to make a conclusion. Expect a summary of points. Now, you need to be good in summary making. And if you've not, maybe, or if you're poor in making a summary of notes, and therefore you need to hook up yourself, subscribe, because in the near future I'll be giving a video on examples of summary or note taking or summary making or writing a summary of a text. And also, candidates, that is you need to echo the thesis statement. I mean, like what you had started with. Then you can conclude with by saying that indeed it is true, or it's without going that what you see is not always what you get. In this particular part, again, good students, you can echo this, you can replace that with a more relevant statement that exactly echoes the same thoughts and sentiments. It could be a proverb, a wise saying, and maybe a strong sentimental thought of your own making. You need to be original. You don't have to be plastic. You have to be stylish in a way of you don't have to exactly to copy paste the same thing from the other, because simply that was the thesis. And unless you want to echo it, but it will still make sense if you substitute that one with a wise saying, a strong sentimental thought that is in line with the thesis statement, and that is usually given up to 2 marks, and also 4 marks for the use of language. Good students, language here I'm referring to maybe the grammar, punctuation, talk about spelling, talk about use of figuratives, language figuratives, like metaphors, similes, their iterations, expressions that really bring out the impression or almost give a replica or gives a approach or an exact of what the text is trying to maybe convey, or the purpose of the text, that is the use of language. And also, good students, and because this looks like we're in a rush, and hold on, subscribe and hold on for a near future video that I'll be covering on those particular 2 points that I've just concluded on, and the use of language in a text. What is language in a text? What is that? And briefly, that is under language. We have got 4 various aspects, like the use of technical language, the use of figurative language, the use of emotive language, the use of formal language. You need to differentiate between the two, and then it will be really, really easy for you to analyze a text when you maybe come across one next time round. And that, of course, marks the end of this particular episode. And the good thing that you need to do for support, for the support, subscribe, click that like button, give it a thumbs up, and of course share this one with your friends. Could be your family members, could be your brothers, could be your sisters, could be your siblings. And above all, I just want to wish you the very, very best, and stay put for the near future updates. Good day.